Realtor.com just released their housing market forecast for 2026. Jerry Willis is here with me. Jerry, do they see affordability improving at all next year?
A little bit. Okay, we're going to have better inventory, lower mortgage rates, but you know, it's not going to be fabulous.
The market right now is slow, and that's both the pace of home sales, but also the pace of construction certainly has slowed over the last couple of months.
The affordability environment is still very much strained. And so what that's translated into is a low level of existing home sales.
Something strange is happening in Texas right now. On the surface, everything still looks normal. For sale signs are up. Prices seem stable. Realtors are still optimistic. But underneath, the math is breaking. Because in parts of Texas, home values aren't just slowing down. They're quietly slipping month after month in ways most people aren't watching. And here's the uncomfortable truth. By the time the headlines admit it, by the time your neighbor notices, by the time the media finally uses the word decline, it's already too late to react. This video is not about opinions. It's not about hype. And it's definitely not about Texas is crashing everywhere. What you're about to see is data-driven, city by city, based on forecast models for 2026, showing where home prices are projected to fall the hardest. Some of these cities are small, some are completely ignored by national media. And that's exactly why they matter, because housing corrections never start in the headlines, they start quietly. In places where demand weakens first, where inventory builds unnoticed, and where prices begin to slip before anyone calls it a trend. If you live in Texas, if you own property, if you're thinking of buying, selling, or investing, you need to know which cities are absorbing the pressure first. Not rumors, not guesses, real projections. And as we count down this list, the declines get steeper, the warning signs get clearer, and the final city may surprise you more than any headline ever could. Because when a market turns, it doesn't ring a bell, it whispers. Let's start with the first city where the numbers are already pointing downward. At number 10, we have La Mesa, a small West Texas city that most people overlook, but that's exactly why it matters. La Mesa's economy relies heavily on agriculture and energy, industries that can swing quickly with market conditions. In recent years, home prices here surged faster than local wages could support, creating a pressure cooker for residents. Now, with demand cooling and population growth remaining limited, forecasts show home values slipping back toward historical norms. This isn't the kind of dramatic crash you read about in headlines. It's a quiet, creeping correction. And for anyone holding property here, it's a wake-up call. Small markets can heat up and cool down far faster than you expect. La Mesa is a textbook example of how reality always catches up with overhyped growth. Moving up to number 9 is Vernon, which shows just how fragile smaller housing markets can be. The city has a limited economy and few new growth opportunities, so even small changes in the wider economy can have a big impact. Homes are staying on the market longer, buyers are becoming more careful, and prices are expected to slowly go down. It's not a sudden crash, but it affects everyone living here or thinking of investing. Vernon reminds us that in smaller cities, even small economic changes can quickly ripple through the housing market and change expectations. Climbing the list at number 8, we have Raymondville, a city that tells the story of an affordability-driven boom gone sideways. This South Texas city attracted a wave of residents during the migration phase, chasing cheaper housing as big cities became unaffordable. At first, it looked like a golden opportunity, but the reality hit fast. Interest rates remained high, migration slowed, and the local economy couldn't keep up with inflated prices. Forecasts now point to a noticeable correction, with homes that once seemed like bargains suddenly feeling overpriced. Raymondville is a cautionary tale. Affordability alone isn't enough to sustain a market. Without solid economic fundamentals, even the most promising cities can experience a sharp reversal. Sliding into number 7, we have Rio Grande City, a city that highlights how closely a housing market can be tied to employment and cross-border economic activity. During the boom, prices climbed steadily, often outpacing income growth, a sign of a market running on momentum rather than fundamentals. Now, heading into 2026, affordability pressures are becoming undeniable. Demand is easing as potential buyers hesitate, and prices are predicted to adjust downward, realigning with local purchasing power. For investors and homeowners, Rio Grande City is a textbook example of how external factors, like trade and employment patterns, can quietly shape real estate trends, and why understanding a city's economic backbone is critical before jumping in. Moving up to number 6, we have Sweetwater, which illustrates a classic slow burn market correction. This West Texas city has seen rising inventory paired with minimal population growth, a recipe for softening home prices. Unlike a sudden crash, Sweetwater's forecasted decline is gradual. Homes linger longer on the market, sellers face increasing competition, and prices inch downward over time. The lesson here is subtle but vital. Not all market declines are dramatic headlines. Some are incremental, almost invisible day by day, but over months they significantly impact both homeowners and potential buyers. Sweetwater reminds us that in smaller metros, patience and timing are key to understanding the market's pulse. Climbing to number 5, we have Beeville, a city that shows the aftershocks of a post-pandemic housing surge. During the boom, the city experienced noticeable price run-ups, attracting attention from investors and buyers seeking opportunity. But job growth and population inflow haven't kept pace with the elevated demand. Heading into 2026, this imbalance is starting to show. Sellers are now competing for fewer buyers, and the market is putting steady downward pressure on prices. Beeville teaches a crucial lesson. Even after dramatic growth, local economic fundamentals like employment and population trends ultimately govern how far a market can sustain elevated prices. Understanding these indicators can save both buyers and investors from overpaying. Sliding into number 4, we have Big Spring, where the housing market moves in step with the ups and downs of the energy sector. For years, oil and gas activity drove local demand, pushing home prices upward whenever the sector thrived. But energy markets are cyclical, and when production slows or stabilizes, the ripple effect hits housing almost immediately. Forecasts for 2026 suggest Big Spring may see a sharper retracement in prices as momentum fades and buyers become more cautious. What makes this city particularly interesting is how external economic factors, in this case energy prices, can dictate local real estate trends. For homeowners and investors, it's a stark reminder. Even seemingly stable cities can experience dramatic shifts when their economic backbone wobbles. Climbing to number 3, we have Zapata. Zapata demonstrates both the power and the peril of rapid growth in a small market. Prices here shot up quickly in recent years, driven by limited supply and a surge in demand. But small markets like Zapata are incredibly sensitive. Even slight changes in buyer behavior or local economic conditions can trigger significant swings. As we move into 2026, projections indicate a stronger correction as demand normalizes and fewer buyers enter the market. What's striking is how fast the narrative can shift in a small city. A few months can turn a hot market into a cautionary tale. Zapata highlights a key lesson for anyone watching real estate. Rapid growth may be exciting, but it often comes with a faster, sharper reversal when fundamentals don't keep pace. Before we reveal the second to last city, take a moment to hit the like button if you're learning something new about these Texas housing markets. Moving up to number 2, we have Alice, Texas, a city showing how affordability pressures can push home prices down when demand slows. Over the past few years, home prices climb faster than local wages, stretching what residents can realistically afford. Now, as we head into 2026, the market is showing signs of stress. Fewer qualified buyers are entering the market, and transaction volumes are slowing. Forecasts suggest Alice will experience one of the steeper declines on this list, nearly 10% in some analyses. What makes this city especially important to watch is how quickly affordability can become a tipping point. For homeowners and investors alike, Alice is a reminder that growth without economic backing is never sustainable, and even smaller cities can surprise you with sharp corrections when fundamentals finally catch up. And finally, taking the number 1 spot is Pecos. Pecos is the city where the impact of 2026 is expected to be felt the hardest. Pecos's housing market has been heavily influenced by energy-driven demand, and when that demand slows, prices react fast. Forecast models indicate a potential drop of nearly 12%, making it the largest expected decline among all Texas cities. Homes that once sold instantly are now lingering on the market, and the urgency from buyers has diminished dramatically. Pecos isn't just a statistic, it's a lesson in market cycles, showing how quickly momentum can reverse when demand evaporates. For anyone watching this countdown, remember this: markets can surge, but they can also fall faster than you think. And Pecos is the perfect example of why timing, fundamentals, and caution are everything in real estate. And there you have it, the complete countdown of the top 10 Texas cities where home prices are expected to fall in 2026. From La Mesa all the way to Pecos, each city tells a story of how markets can change, sometimes gradually, sometimes dramatically. Understanding the key forces at play, from energy dependence to affordability pressures, is crucial for anyone thinking about buying, selling, or investing in these areas. Now take a moment and think about your city, your neighborhood, or even the place you're planning to invest in. Does your city appear on this list? Are you noticing any of these trends around you? I want you to share your experiences in the comments, the good, the bad, or even just your observations. Your story could help someone avoid a costly mistake or spot an opportunity they might have missed. If you found value in this video, hit that like button. It not only supports the channel, but also helps others in your city or across Texas see this important information. And to stay ahead of the market with more updates like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the real stories behind the headlines. Remember, real estate isn't just numbers on a screen. It's your life, your investments, your future. The sooner you understand where risks are building, the better prepared you'll be. Share this video with friends or family in Texas, and let's start a conversation. Markets move fast, and knowledge is your best protection.